Welcome to the Helio-X universe. The mothership had been found. The question now was what to do with it. Doogie Howell had an idea. So did Zelon Dusk. And Dr. Ellie Zeffaway had been waiting her entire career for exactly this moment. The Zelon Dusk research vessel Challenger, Galaxy class, the finest science ship humanity had ever built, was already in orbit around Europa. Already crewed, already waiting, as if someone had known it would be needed. Challenger set course for Belt 4, for the canyon, for the thing Doogie had found and filed claim to and called Ellie about from the silence of his suit. The mission was official now. The universe was about to get considerably more complicated. The crevice entrance was too narrow for Challenger. Doogie fixed that. His Class 4 mining ship, the one the slot machine paid for, put its cutting equipment to work on 2 billion years of asteroid rock, widening the opening meter by meter until something the size of a Galaxy-class research vessel could fit through. Challenger moved inside. The canyon walls rose around her on both sides, and then the alien hull filled the forward viewport. The science team went quiet. Some things you cannot prepare for, no matter how many briefings you sit through. Doogie cut the entry point himself. A Helio-X powered cutter focused through Martian diamonds, the only tool capable of slicing through what the Ethon had built their hull from. It took 6 hours. The cut was precise. He had done harder jobs for less reason. He and Ellie watched from his ship as Challenger maneuvered into position and docked at the opening. 2 billion years of silence on the other side of that hull. The science team suiting up inside. Neither of them said anything. Some moments don't need commentary. The moment the first scientist crossed the threshold, the ship responded. Sections lit up. Soft, blue, bioluminescent light spreading through corridors that had been dark since before complex life existed on Earth. And then the bots appeared. Small, still, oriented toward the team. Nobody moved. Nobody knew if this was a greeting. Nobody knew anything at all. The bots waited. Patient in the way, something that has been waiting 2 billion years can afford to be. The control room was vast. Consoles and designs that followed no human geometric principle. Some active, some dark, all completely unreadable. Whatever language the Ethan used to label their systems, it was not one anyone in the room had ever seen. Ellie stood in front of a console for a long time. Then she got to work. A year into the mission, Zelon Dusk made a visit, unannounced. He walked into the control room and looked at the consoles with an expression that nobody could quite describe afterward. Not surprise. Not unfamiliarity. Something else. Something that made Ellie watch him more carefully for the rest of the day. It was shortly after that visit that the interface breakthrough happened. Their AI systems linked to the Ethon console. It took everything they had. 3 months of failed attempts, Dusk's visit, and 1 moment of connection that nobody fully understood even after it worked. The room got brighter. The bots moved closer, and the data started flowing. Day 47 aboard the Ethon mothership. 12 major discoveries cataloged. Bioluminescent architecture, non-human geometry, helper bot communication through harmonic resonance, historical records going back billions of years, and something the team called the message, a record that Ethan left not just for whoever found this ship, but for whoever would come after. Every discovery raised 10 more questions. Nobody was sleeping much. The energy comparison stopped everyone cold. Helio-X on one side of the display, an unknown material found in the ship's power systems on the other. The signatures were not identical, but they were close enough that Dr. Zeffaway said out loud what everyone was already thinking.
They had their own version of Helio-X. That's what's been keeping this ship powered for 2 billion years. They called it something. We're going to call it Zenite.
The historical records told the story. The Ethon had come here through wormholes, following Helio-X readings from the outer edge of the solar system. They had found something extraordinary. Then, the Kreth had found them. The battle was brief and catastrophic. The Ethon destroyed the Kreth ships. Their own mothership lost control and crashed. And then, they made a decision. The team watched the record in silence. None of them had words for what they were seeing. It wasn't destruction. The damage patterns were wrong for an explosion, wrong for a battle, wrong for anything accidental. Ellie figured it out first. The wormhole gate hadn't been destroyed in the crash. It had been taken apart. Deliberately. Carefully. Specific components removed and separated, stashed in locations that would survive billions of years, but would require real effort to find and assemble. The Ethon hadn't given up. They had left a puzzle. They had left it for someone exactly like her. The substrate was in two places. Strange alien storage containers in Europa's ocean, found months earlier and not understood until now. And deeper in the mothership, in sections they hadn't reached yet. More of it. Raw wormhole substrate in its base material form, glowing faintly with an energy signature that looked remarkably familiar. Put together, it was enough. Barely. But enough. Dusk arrived again. This time with space sea transport vessels. The Europa containers were loaded with extraordinary care. Nobody fully understood what they were handling, but everyone understood it mattered. The substrate moved to the mothership. The last piece of a 2-billion-year-old plan coming home. Deep in the mothership's intact stern sections, the construction intake system accepted the raw substrate. The ship responded immediately. More systems coming online, more corridors lighting up, something vast and mechanical beginning to cycle through its startup sequence for the first time in 2 billion years. The team stepped back. Whatever happened next was going to be the ship's doing, not theirs. The cannon structure on the mothership's exterior had puzzled them for months. Nobody had been able to determine its purpose. Now it powered up. The canyon walls lit with energy buildup. Doogie and Ellie watched from his viewport as the structure charged and then fired. A precision construction beam of extraordinary scale, reaching up from the canyon into open space above the asteroid. Piece by piece, from raw substrate, the wormhole gate ring assembled itself in the void. It took 11 minutes. Nobody spoke for any of them. The ring was complete. The team connected Helio-X power conduits from the Challenger to the gate's activation systems. The energy build was slow at first, then faster. The ring began to glow, starting at the point where the Helio-X fed in and spreading around the circumference, section by section, until the entire structure was lit. The gate came alive. A field of energy formed at the center of the ring, shimmering, stable, impossible by every law of physics humanity had understood before this moment. Through it, stars. Not the stars of the solar system. Something else. Somewhere else. The canyon lit up like noon on a clear Martian day. Nobody moved. Nobody breathed. Ellie found Doogie's hand in the dark of his cockpit and held it. Mankind had entered a new era. The door was open. It worked from both sides. And somewhere out there, across a network of gates built by a civilization that died protecting this moment, something had just noticed the light come on. Everything you just witnessed, the Challenger, the mothership, the bots, the substrate, the gate, that is Europa Explorer. The full story, playable, from Lozak Gaming. Live it yourself. Find the substrate. Power the gate. Open the door. Europa Explorer, coming soon. And what comes through that door? That is Helio-X Ascendancy. Red Reconquest is available now on Steam.